Welcome to the class. In this class we are going to learn OSI layers. It is very important to know OSI layers because it defines the process of communication. It defines how actually communication is going on. Its full name for the OSI is Open System Interconnect Model. It is a set of rules or standards which a communication system governs. It was developed by International Organization for Standardization in 1984. It consists of 7 layers. Each layer has a different but specific processing function. So this is how all 7 layers are working together to define the communication process. Big question is, why OSI? What is the need of the OSI? So in early 80s and 70s we were facing the problem of interoperability. So there were devices from different vendors who were not able to communicate with each other. So to achieve the interoperability, the OSI came into picture. So it also makes the troubleshooting easy. It is just like you have different departments in your company, and if you have, let's say, salary processing problem, then you go to either accounts or the HR. You don't go to management or administration. In the same way, if you have any issue related to network layer or a specific layer, you get into that layer devices and you troubleshoot that. You don't go to the other layers to troubleshoot that issue. So it makes the troubleshooting easy. It also defines, as I already told, the communication by layered architecture. So there are 7 layers: application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link, and physical layer. So if one wants to learn it, there is a simple acronym which you can use to learn. All people seem to need data processing. So this is how you can learn it, and the numbering starts from the bottom to up. So layer 1 is physical layer, layer 2 the data link layer, and their way up to the 7th layer, and that is the application layer. So these 3 layers or the upper layers are called as the software layer. The bottom layers are called the lower layer or hardware layer, and this transport layer is called as the heart of the OSI. So starting from the application layer is responsible for networking services. So it provides networking services to the user. The users are sitting on the desktop and they want to actually use some kind of network applications like web browsers or some other applications. So those applications are running on application layer. Presentation layer is responsible for converting data into a standard format. For example, if you are sending some ASCII text, then on the receiving side also it should be received in the ASCII text. If you are sending JPEG image, then it is the responsibility of the presentation layer of the destination who is going to convert that image into the appropriate format which is understood by the application layer of the destination. So this is taken care by the presentation layer. Session layer, as its name says, session. It establishes, maintains, and terminates this session. It is responsible for that. There are session IDs used for each session in the list. So there may be multiple sessions going on between the source and the destination. Those all sessions are established, maintained, and teared down when it is required by the session layer. The transport layer is responsible for end-to-end connectivity. So end-to-end means that for the data being sent, a delivery has to be there. So transport layer uses a concept of sequence numbers and acknowledgements for the reliable communication. For if, let's say, for example, if you lose some data in transmission, then the data because of the acknowledgements being used, that data is going to be retransmitted by the transport layer, and this is called error correction when your data is lost. It is also known as heart of the OSI layers. Network layer is responsible for providing best path for the data to reach to the destination. So I take the data from transport layer and it is given to the network layer. Now network layer is responsible to route the data. What are the paths available to reach to a particular destination, and out of those paths which path is the best one, and routing the packets out that best path is the function of the network layer. Logical addressing takes place here on this layer, the IP addressing, and router is a device which is working on the network layer. Data link layer has two sublayers. One is logical link control, which talks about the WAN protocols like PPP, SDLC and frame relay. So those protocols are configured on this logical link control. And this second sublayer is the MAC, which is media access control sublayer. It talks about physical addressing, that is nothing but MAC addressing, which is 48-bit MAC address. Physical layer is responsible for physical properties, for electrical, mechanical and procedural checks, for connectors, the kind of connectors you are using, kind of cables you are using. So it talks about all that. So the data you got from data link layer, that is going to be converted in the form of electrical pulses if it is a coaxial cable or T-state pair cable, and if you are using the fiber optic cable, then the data is going to convert into light pulses if you are using fiber optic cable, because fiber optic uses light pulses to send the data. If you are using wireless medium, then this data which you got from data link layer, that is going to be converted into radio frequencies. So the devices working at physical layers are hubs, repeaters, cables, modems, etc. So connectors and the other physical properties also lie under this physical layer. So there are two models. One is the OSI model, that is basically the reference model. This is reference model, but the actual working model is the TCP/IP model, which right now we are having in the networking world. So if you want to refer, then you have to get back to the OSI layers for understanding or for characterizing the problems, but the actual working model is the TCP/IP layers. So what is the difference between these two? In TCP/IP layers, these three layers, application, presentation and session layer, these three layers are combined into one, and that is application layer of the TCP/IP model. This TCP/IP model also called as DoD, Department of Defense, because it was created by the Department of Defense. So DoD model. Functioning remains exactly same. So all the functioning which were related to these three layers, those all are combined, and that is called in TCP/IP model as the application layer. So the transport layer remains transport there. Sometimes it is also called host to host or end to end layers. This network layer is renamed to internet layer. So functioning remains exactly same. These two layers are combined into network access layer or the link layer, and the functionalities of these two layers are also combined into the network access layer. So this is the comparison between both the models. So in this video we have just given a brief of the models, of the two models